Canada's Wonderland is located in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada, and this park has tons of roller coasters and thrill rides. They really do have some great attractions, and they will continue to add great rides year after year. What I'm doing in this video is predicting what they'll be adding in the next 5 years, that is 2016 through the year 2020. Everyone loves making predictions about what they'll be adding, and so that is exactly what I'll be doing in this video. Here's what they added in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years, they added their tallest coaster yet, Leviathan. They added Wonder Mountain's Guardian, their only dark ride. And they also added Windseeker, a thrill ride. Now here's what's difficult about making predictions for Canada's Wonderland. Cedar Fair, the company that owns Canada's Wonderland, uses the park as their test site. They like to put out their attractions at this park first to see how it will go before sending it to their other parks. Which means making predictions for this park is very difficult. I've done what I can, and just remember these are predictions based off of rumors and speculation. None of this is confirmed. But just because of how this park is, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if none of this ends up coming true. But nonetheless, it's still fun to make predictions, so let's get started. 2016 is a tough one because we know that a lot of construction is going on by the mighty Canadian Mindbuster. In addition, because of when Skyrider was removed, that site is currently available. So the question is, will Canada's Wonderland be building a new attraction at the site of Skyrider in 2016? And I'm predicting no. I think that Skyrider's site will stay vacant, but I think that either at the end of 2015 or sometime in 2016, the park will remove the mighty Canadian Mindbuster. People have been speculating what is going to happen with that. Are they going to bring in Rocky Mountain Construction and give the hybrid treatment? What's going to happen? And while turning Mighty Canadian Mindbuster into an RMC hybrid would be good, I just don't think it will happen. I think that Canada's Wonderland will instead choose to remove the coaster so that they can use the land for a future attraction. And as for adding something new, I think that they'll just make minor park improvements that year. Freshen it up, make it look better. And in 2017, that's when things are really going to start to get going. I think that the park is going to be building a B&M wing coaster, and they are going to build it over the site of Skyrider and the mighty Canadian Mindbuster. Because right now, Skyrider's site is very long and narrow. If you want to fit a coaster in that spot, it would have to be very compact and very long, almost like X-Flight. But Canada's Wonderland will want to make a larger ride than that. That's why I think they'll want to remove the mighty Canadian Mindbuster, because that site isn't too far away from Skyrider, so they could have the coaster drape across and go somewhat into that area. Not necessarily the area by the water park, but more where the station and the lift hill area was. And as for what to call it, I think they'll be calling it Ziz, because the three monsters that are talked about are Leviathan, Behemoth, and Ziz. They already have two, so it makes sense for the third one to be named Ziz. Ziz is a beast of the air, and wing coasters make you feel like you're on the wings of a bird. And this would also give Canada's Wonderland a launch coaster. A major launch coaster. They have Backlot Stunt Coaster, but that's a smaller coaster. This would give them a real launch. 2018, I think, will be a smaller year. They will have just added new roller coasters, so I think they'll focus on the family attractions. Perhaps they could add some flying scooters. That's more of a family ride. They could also add some kiddie rides into Planet Snoopy. But I think that'll be a smaller year. And in 2019, I think they'll be adding a thrill ride. Canada's Wonderland is known for having some great thrill rides. They have tons of them. Fantastic collection. Who's to say they won't add one more? These air races are popular rides by Zamperla. I could see them adding that. Also by 2019, it won't surprise me if a new company will have come out with this brand new attraction that Canada's Wonderland just has to have. And so maybe they'll add that in 2019. You have to remember, this is several years from now. So it's very likely that something like that could happen. And in 2020, I think that is when they will expand their water park. Now let's assume that the park has removed the mighty Canadian Mindbuster. That means that the end point where the coaster turned around will be available. That's right near the water park. So in that site, they could put a new slide complex. Perhaps some capsule slides where the floor drops out beneath you. And in terms of what to add to the dry park, I think they'll probably add a new show or something like that. So, just to recap, these are my predictions for the next 5 years. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this park is very difficult to make predictions for. I think it'll be very interesting to see what is in this park's future. because what this park adds often tells you what you can expect at future Cedar Fair parks. We saw that with the B&M Giga Coaster. We are seeing that with the Wonder Mountain's Guardian Triotech Dark Rides. They're starting to add more Triotechs at parks. So the future looks bright for Canada's Wonderland. And so the question of the day, will these predictions come true? We'll have to wait and see.